It's very simple for our final round. Guys get 4 minutes, just 4 minutes on the clock for their final monologue. 4 minutes. 4 minutes here in the final round. Up first, it'll be Patrick Harris. We start the competition as we end it. Patrick, how you feel like you're doing so far on this final night?
I don't know. I don't have time to think. I got like a commercial break and then it's go again. I guess that's nice,
how it
though.
is
Keeps you
every
on your
day.
toes, keeps rolling.
That's what radio's all about. Not too much time to think. Move on to the next segment. So the next segment is yours, your final segment. Patrick, 4 minutes on the clock, and they're all yours.
Thank you, Swag. I love this time of year. It gets a lot of rap that it's such a slow sports topic. I was talking with Luke in the bathroom about, whoa, hey, oh, my bad. I was speaking to Luke in a gentleman's facility. Well, that could go a different way, too. And we were talking about how sports topics are difficult to discover, that it's kind of a slow time of year. But we're revving up to the best part of the year, and that's March Madness. I mean, who doesn't fill out a bracket? Who doesn't love the competition? Who doesn't love something you can include people that don't know anything about sports? The best part for me is the part leading up to it. I'm a big bracket guy, and I take it very seriously because I can win some good money, and because of that, I do my homework earlier before everyone else. And I'm going to teach you the secret. The secret is to start watching the conference tournaments. So many people don't want to watch them, but once you start watching the conference tournament, that's where you really start to see how these guys stack up. Let's take Kentucky for an example. They look dominant. I'm not going to go into that. We know how great they look 1 through 10. But how good is the SEC? Watch Georgia play LSU. If that game doesn't look very good, is that going to waver your opinion on Kentucky? The ACC tournament is the new Big East tournament. That conference is so deep. I like Notre Dame in that conference. I like to see how far they're going to go, and their progress in the ACC tournament is going to tell me how far I believe they can go in the Big Dance. It also lets you look at conferences that aren't as good, the mid-majors. The Pac-12, for example. If you didn't get the chance to watch the Arizona-Utah game the other night, you don't like college basketball. That's good stuff. Everyone's going to look at Utah and say, no thanks, I'm looking for them to play each other in the Pac-12 championship. Because if Utah can pull that edge again, then that makes me feel a little bit better about them. The whole point of this is to have a better bracket, is to win that money so you can slam that in your homeboy's face. You can say, how'd you take Davidson to go so deep? And it's like, well, I watched their conference tournament, and they had some kid named what's that kid's name? Steph Curry. And he carried them, took down a 2 seed in Georgetown, and went deep. You're not going to know who that is if you're not at least tuning into some aspect of that. It's where stars are born in the big dance. Watch them before they're stars. See the grind. It's just as exciting, one and done. There are teams that if you don't win your conference tournament, you're going nowhere. NC State, 1983, doesn't go all the way if they don't win the ACC championship. And because they did that, they go down in history as one of the biggest upsets to ever win the tournament. They take down Patrick Ewing, and Jimmy V is now a hero and a legend. Would we get such great things from Jim if NC State didn't go to the Final Four and win a title? Would that speech mean as much to you and me as it does now if those guys didn't win their conference tournament? So for me, that's the best route to go. You're going to see stars when they're first born. You're going to see teams, how they really stack up. And the best part is you're going to see if a conference is worth the beans. If you watch Gonzaga in their conference tournament, you're going to know that conference is not so great. It's not so great. And so how does that dictate your feeling on Gonzaga? And those are all these different things that I think you have to keep in mind, and you have to keep going, because the moral of the story, like I said, is to beat your friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Patrick Harris, hang on here. As we, let's start with a quick thought from Isaac. Patrick's final monologue for us here.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was all right. I thought it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah. The topic choice is, you're going to lose a lot of people talking college basketball. I thought you tried to make it broader, where everybody does bet on the tournament. They all fill out their brackets, even though they don't know shit or stuff. But
Dump.
hopefully Lynch is paying attention. It was just a test.
Beer at table 1?
But I mean, it was a good bit, but it wasn't great. It's like, if you're going to do college basketball, if you're going to do a topic that's probably going to lose a lot of your listeners, you got to know your audience. You really got to engage them. You got to keep them interested. And I think I know where you were trying to go with it, but I don't think you got all the way there.
Jeff Austin, thoughts?
I thought NC State took down Hakeem Olajuwon that year, not Patrick Ewing in Georgetown.
Is that true? I
Yeah.
thought Houston won their title.
But yes, that was the only thing. Other than that, I mean, look, your delivery's great. I instantly feel like you know what you're talking about when you take the mic, you take control. That's great. It's true what Isaac said. It's a little bit nerdy at times, but then you brought it back and said, you didn't lose your central point. You said that's why you have to pay attention to the conference tournaments, because you found out a little bit about this guy named, Steph Curry for Davidson. The point being, and everybody in your audience relates to this, you can win your brackets at work. Because a lot of people really don't care about college basketball. They do care about their brackets. So I thought you did a good job of tying in with the central theme. Maybe a little more emphasis on what relates to a larger audience, the brackets, rather than the finer points of college basketball.
Ryan Cooley.
I think your delivery is always great. I mean, and a lot of people have said, even the guys, when you did the interview at the beginning of this or the segment at the beginning of this, I could listen to you talk about really anything, I think, and it's entertaining, man. And so, on that part, I agree with Isaac. I think you do when you get into everybody does fill out a bracket, but when you get into semantics, people get a little tuned out on it. But again, I think you make up for that with how you deliver it. I feel, one thing that people that are listening right now don't get to see is how you stand when you're delivering a point, man. I feel like whether you believe it or not, you've convinced me that you believe it, and that's something I've always really liked about you, man. So
That's
again,
that Wazoo theater degree.
yeah, exactly.
Go Cougs.
There you go. So, yeah, I mean, again, not the best topic, but you still did a really good job with it, man. So, great job.
All right, Dusty, wrap it up for Patrick here.
Yeah, the thing that I still don't know is, you mentioned finding guys like Steph Curry, but I don't know why watching conference tournaments will, what do you look for? What do you look for? I mean, you're looking for Notre Dame to win it, and you're looking, you found a guy like Steph Curry, but why would average Joe watch it to see if Notre Dame wins the ACC and just win the conference championship game? So, other than that, I thought it was solid.
If I can just piggyback on that, who's this year's Steph Curry would have been a great transition.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the teams to watch? Because there's a couple points where you had me, the Steph Curry point, the Notre Dame. Why are we watching Notre Dame? Who's this year's Steph Curry? You almost had me total buy-in, and you just kind of let it fade away.
Patrick Harris, you've done all you can do. It's in the hands of the judges now. Big round of applause for Patrick.